veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost, I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
welcome back, welcome back. We are here tonight with the illustrious, the tall, the very handsome, the very sober Will Comedy. What's going on, Will?
What's going on, y'all?
What's going on? I mean, like, this is a man that not only is funny and does comedy, he also serves in the United States Army. Is that right?
Yes, man.
The United States Army. So we gotta tip our hat to him, because serving in the United States military is no joke, is it, William?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a job to me, honestly. I don't take it too serious.
You don't take it too serious? All right, okay. All right.
I did my active duty time. Now I just do it part time. So.
Okay. You gonna end up retiring, eventually getting your pension from the U.S. Army, Uncle Sam?
Yeah, I got about 4 years until I can retire, but I'll probably end up doing about 7 more.
Okay, sounds smart. I think of my girlfriend out in California, out in Cali. She's been all around the world, lived in Hawaii, lived in other countries, been abroad. Her husband retired from the Marine Corps, right? Okay. She said, okay, honey, you got to get back to work. You got to go get a job, because you being at home, it ain't working. I'm not used to you being here. So he went back to college, got another degree, and started his own company and got out the house.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that retirement check for sure.
Oh, I know that's right. Well, we got JRXTV that's assisting. JR, you want to get us started with some bio questions, if you don't mind?
Sure. Good evening, Will. Good evening, bro.
How you doing?
Good evening, everybody out there. So yeah, William, man, tell us about yourself, bro. Like, where did the journey start for you in terms of going out there and getting your career and everything? What was your interest first?
My first interest was basketball. Growing up in San Antonio and Houston, I just was all over the place playing basketball. Every summer, basketball camp. Played on every team I could find myself on. I played in Catholic youth leagues. It didn't matter. Like any YMCA league, boys and girls club, AAU, Catholic leagues, I was in there. So basketball was my life. Probably up until I was in my early to mid 20s. Shifted direction.
I hear you on that. Like, I'm the same. Basketball was my life too at one point. Like, I used to ball like all through my teenage years. The only reason why I stopped is because I knew I wasn't going to make it. Like, got to my early 20s and I was like, nah, it's not going to happen for me. So had to go out and get a job. So how do you did the stuff that you picked up in basketball, did that ever translate into transferable skills to go into other career paths for you?
I mean, yeah, definitely. In the military, it helped me a lot because, my job in the Army, it requires a lot of teamwork and discipline and things like that. And so, just building that foundation, playing team sports, whether it was football, basketball, soccer, baseball, it really helped me. It was beneficial for sure when it came to me being in the military. Yeah.
Cool. And I guess it definitely helped to the fitness levels as well, because I assume being in the military, you have to be very physically fit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to get back there, but yeah, surgery kind of took me out, but I'm gonna get back there.
Okay, cool. Okay, so what about dating? Like, you had a love for basketball. When did you have your first love, bro? How old were you?
Oh man. I mean, my high school sweetheart was I would say that was my first love for sure. Um, and that's who we ended up getting married and having a son together. That
That's
was that
dope.
was yeah, that was my first love. But I mean, now that I'm older and have grown and have learned more about life and myself, you know, um, I think I undervalued love and didn't necessarily have a full grasp on what love really was. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought it was a feeling. I thought it
Hmm.
was a feeling more than it was. You know, love to me now is an action and a choice more than a feeling. So,
Right.
um, yeah,
So,
so it's definitely changed. But to me, I would say she was my first love. Yeah.
okay, so would you say it was like an ages and stages thing, kind of, where at that early stage in your life you didn't really take it as serious? Because who does? When you're younger, you don't even know the full meaning of what it entails when you use the word, right?
Mm,
But you may have the
yeah,
feelings that make you feel like that person's different.
yeah. I mean, I would be lying to say I didn't love her, but yeah, just the taking it serious
Mm.
um and then being in the military, they kind of incentivize getting married. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And
Yes,
so
that is true.
um you end up getting married for the wrong reasons, which is something that I expressed, going through the process, explaining that to people. Um,
Can
and
you can you
so,
can I
mhm.
slow it down just a little bit,
Yeah, go
William? I
ahead.
hate to jump in, so excuse me,
Hmm.
but can you kind of for those I understand it because, like I said, I'm a military. My family, my father, my daughter.
Hmm.
But can you explain to those of us civilians that don't understand? Because a lot of people don't understand what you mean
Yeah.
by incentivized marriage.
So basically, your first, uh, I'll say 4 years in the military, you are making nothing. You have no money. You're living in the barracks. It's like imagine being in college, living in the dorms, but everybody gets a paycheck on the same day. But at the same time, you got somebody walking in where you live, inspecting where you live, and telling you, how to keep your place and all that kind of stuff. And
Right.
so, you're not making no money, you don't have no privacy, nothing like that. But if you get married, you get paid more, and you get to live outside of post, like on your own. So,
Right.
people tend to rush into relationships for that reason because it kind of benefits you. And then on top of that, just in my circumstance, my first ex-wife, uh, she was in college about to graduate, and she was a dependent already, and so she was going to
Hmm.
end up losing her benefits. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Oh, okay.
And
Right.
so, if we got married, she could keep her benefits, and then throughout the course of our relationship, we hadn't really been together physically in the same location in 5 years. So it was just one of those things where we started dating at 17, and
Oh,
then
wow.
at 22 we got married, thinking that things were still going to be the same, and this is going to be beneficial for both of us if we get married. And so um I, if I could go back and do it again,
Yeah.
um
What would you do differently?
if I could go back and do it again, I would have definitely taken it slower. I definitely, because like I said, I'd be lying if I said I didn't love her. It's just the thought process that went into us getting married was not the right wasn't the right way to go about it. So um I wouldn't undo anything because everything I've been through has made me who I am, and I've been blessed with three amazing sons. So I wouldn't want to do anything that would take them away from me. Uh,
Exactly.
but I just wish that I had the mindset then that I have now. But with time comes wisdom in most cases. So
Of
Mhm.
course.
No doubt. Okay. So tell us about your journey to Ready to Love. What made you decide to come on the show? Did you audition or were you nominated? How did you find out about it?
How did I end up on Ready to Love?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's what we all want to know.
so I'm naturally an introvert. Like I'm not usually like out on the town, out and about. I'm not in people's faces or nothing like that. Even when it comes to comedy, I just do my shows and I go back to my hotel room or I go back to the house and stuff like that, right?
Hmm.
I have a friend that's an actor and he works with a casting agency and he was like, "Hey, you're living in Dallas?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Do you want to be on a TV show?" And I was like, "All right, cool." And he was like, "Are you single?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh, perfect." So
You at least
like
did check that part.
I
Okay.
I really had no idea what I was getting myself into. Um,
Right.
so I auditioned like 3 or 4 times before I even knew the concept of the show. Uh,
Okay.
and then when I found out what it was, I talked to my mentor about it because I don't. One, I don't. I know I need attention, I guess you could say, to like advance my comedy career, but I don't.
Yes.
I never want to do anything that's gonna um, jeopardize my morals or do anything that goes against who I am as a person. And so I watched a little bit of the previous seasons, and like I was like, okay, I can kind of navigate my way through like all the drama and maybe
Hmm.
potentially find somebody for myself. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And obviously it didn't work out that way. But
That's all right.
but
That's all right. You put
but
the important thing is you put yourself out there, William. You put
yeah.
yourself out there.
So I honestly didn't want to do it originally, and throughout the process, I tried to quit numerous times. My mom kept pushing me to stay and be a man of my word, and I agreed to do this. So I got to see it through type stuff. Um, but that's how I ended up on it. One of my
Okay.
friends just saw this opportunity in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and he was like, "You be at the house by yourself too much. You need to find you somebody." So he kind of
Okay.
pushed me into it.
Okay. That's
Okay.
fair. That's fair.
So, like, hopefully you didn't go nuts on your friend after you eliminated.
No, 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 no,
You
no. I kept him up to date with what was going on throughout the process. He knew what was going on in my personal life and on the show, so he
okay?
knew what was up. I don't have no hard feelings with anybody. Well, with most
Okay.
people.
Okay. I gotta ask a hard hidden question right here because when you
Okay.
say on the show and in your personal life, it sounds like there's two separate things going on at the same time.
What,
Um, can you kind of explain that a little bit?
what do you mean by that?
Well, like, okay, so the show is allegedly for dating, right?
Yeah.
Black love, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so you're dating these beautiful women, all these different beautiful women. So in
Yeah.
your private life, are you still continuing to date other women? I mean, if I can
No,
be so bold
actually,
as to ask.
I wasn't. Like I said, I'm very much an introvert, and so I typically I avoid conversation with people. Like honestly, um, I get talked to about that a lot. Like my mentors are constantly telling me I need to be more social and network and do stuff like that. That's why I agreed to do this.
Okay,
But
okay,
I just there was somebody that I was dating prior to um the show, but I explained to her, the show and the process and stuff like that, and so we fell back from that, and we still never reconnected or anything like that so far. But I wasn't dating anybody outside of the show throughout the process of this.
okay. I appreciate you opening up and being transparent enough to answer that question.
Hmm.
So going into at the beginning of this season,
Hmm.
you were at, was it mixer one or mixer two as we
I was
see
at
it as an
Mixer One.
audience? Mixer one, I
Yeah, I was at
thought so.
yeah.
Okay, so you're at mixer one.
Hmm.
You get there. Which lady or which two or three ladies catch your eye that just are just physically, because you don't know them at this point, but just physically you find them very attractive and alluring?
Physically, I would say Mika was who caught my eye. But I mean, just to be completely honest,
Okay.
that day, my a lot of people that know me was like, "Oh, you look nervous, or you look like your head was elsewhere," and that's because there was almost two blends that day because I almost didn't show up. Like I was,
Oh,
yeah.
oh wow.
So I know later in the season I talked about like my dad and stuff like that, but that morning
Right.
as I was driving to that mixer, my mom called me and told me my dad was having emergency surgery to have a tumor removed from his spine.
Oh
And
my
so
God. I'm sorry.
I literally started to divert from Dallas to San Antonio, but she told me that he was fine and just to stay and do what I was doing. So, you know, I tried my best that day.
Mm.
But Mika for sure. Conversationally, um, April and I, as much as they showed it like to be like awkward or like standoffish with me and April was
Hmm.
laughing like the whole day. Like the whole day. April to this day is one of my best friends from the show.
Oh wow.
But
Okay.
we was laughing and cutting up the whole day. Like April and I cannot be together without some foolishness going on. Um,
Okay.
and then Alexis and I connected on basketball. So it was Mika
Oh right.
physically, and then conversationally, it was Alexis and April.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. And like when you were in the mixer, like because you're an introvert, did you
Mhm.
struggle to get around the room to mingle and socialize, get to know everybody, or was it
Uh,
was everybody welcoming and comfortable?
I can kind of turn it on and turn it off. Um,
Okay,
so I know how to be personable. It's just that's not my natural like go to.
right.
So I can converse and it's not an issue. It's just if given the option, I'm gonna be at the house by myself, just
I hear you on that.
my sons, my dog. Like that's. But
Mhm.
no, I didn't have no issue talking to people. I have an issue with how they edited it and made some of the conversations look like they went. But I mean, TV on TV, right? So
Mhm.
um, it is what it is. But I think I had pretty good conversations with everybody. I just don't think that know.
Uh-oh.
William, we can't hear you. I think somebody's probably texting him. So guys,
Yeah.
hang on. Hang on. It's whenever people are doing the interviews on their cell phone, sometimes it can be some technical problems. So just hang on. Hey Cal, I see what you wrote. Oh, there he is. Okay, William, say something so we can hear you. Can't hear you. Let them know we can't hear you. Yeah,
Yeah, we can't hear you, bro.
that's true. Let them know we can't hear them.
Yeah. Is he even talking to us? He might be
I
ordering
think
some more
so.
chicken wings.
Leave those wings alone. Guys, he's out to dinner. He's doing us a great favor. He's out to dinner with some of the RTL
Can't hear
ladies.
you, bro.
I'm not gonna name any names, but
Can't hear
let's
you. Unmute, bro. Unmute.
I think maybe he's trying to find a little quieter place
Yeah.
too. Guys, hang on. Thanks for he's gonna have to click in and click out. But guys, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. It's a nice comfy crowd. Uh, thank you for signing in and watching us. We want to get to the root of some things that were going on at that reunion. So hang tight, guys. And Kyle, I was asking you what was the beef that you had with April earlier, and I think it was probably because during that game on the reunion last night, apparently we found out that April had called him what is it, Jeffrey? Jeffrey the giraffe from the Toys R
Yeah.
Us kid commercial.
Yeah.
That wasn't the nicest thing she could have said about
Well,
him.
that
And
wasn't all she said either, was it?
yeah, no, it was. What else did she say? What else did she say,
Said
Jr.?
it was a mix between Jeffrey and
Hmm. Oh, Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump
Forrest
from the
Gump.
movie.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, what? The Forrest Gump? Come on now. I
Mm-mm.
think Forrest Gump. I think they were showing him. I think he maybe had autism or something. Why are you trying to talk about my boy like that? But they're the best of friends. So here we go. He's back. All right. All right, William. We got you back.
My
Got
bad, my bad.
got
I
the
had
audio.
to
Got
drop
the
it out.
audio.
But I think y'all going to the patio. Yeah, we
Okay.
about to move out to the patio. But
Okay.
I forget the
Okay.
question you asked. I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
JR, I think you had him.
Well, yeah, I have a few questions. So, yeah, so which dates did you go on that weren't actually aired?
Maya and I were just talking about that earlier. We went on 2 dates that they didn't air on the show. One they made a digital exclusive, and the other
Mm.
one they just didn't show it all. We went and got like pizza on a date, and they didn't show that at all. But
Okay.
Well, tell us a little bit about it. Break that down for us. How did that date go?
I mean, me and Maya's dates went smooth. Like Maya and Patrice were my two connections, and they were the only two that I actually made any effort to converse with. She over there, she was
Hmm.
waving right now. Come on, man.
Is there
I'm
is there
sorry.
is there any light out there? Because we really can't see you.
Oh no, no, no.
Oh,
We're
okay.
just we're migrating to a different spot. So my
Okay.
bad.
Well, there hopefully
Yeah,
will be some light. Okay, gotcha.
yeah, there's gonna be
Um,
some.
yeah. So you say all of your dates with Maya, they actually went pretty smoothly, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. What is she like? I mean, from your perspective, is she as poised as we see her as an audience? I see her personally as being very poised and very warm. Was she very warm at all?
Yeah, Maya's a sweetheart.
Okay.
Maya's amazing. She's
Who's that? Oh, hey,
she,
April. I'm trying to get you on. I'm trying to get you on
she
the interview
she can't
with
hear.
us.
I got my AirPods in.
Oh, right,
Oh,
right, right.
hold on,
Tell
hold on, hold on,
tell April I'm trying to get
hold
her
on.
on the interview. Okay. No, not really.
Can you hear me?
Now I
Yeah, can
can.
hear you
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, now we can't hear you. I got to put my AirPods back in.
Oh Lord.
Hey, April said hey. Maya, you want to say hey?
Hey, hey, beautiful. Hey, Patricia, pretty. My girl. My girl.
But hold on. Let me put my AirPods back.
Okay.
All right. I'm sorry,
No
Mm.
problem. No problem.
but nah. Now you got me talking about it while she's sitting right here. But
Oh,
nah, but she's a sweetheart. She's an amazing woman. Like how y'all said she's warm and poised and all that. She's all of that. Like she's Maya's dope as hell. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, you clearly had her as your top connection and made the most attempts to want to try and, find something with her. So
Yeah.
uh, that was shown. I'm surprised they didn't show more of your dates though, because the chemistry was obviously there. Why do you think that was?
I mean, they had the show has their own motives for showing what they show. So, I mean, I honestly I can't answer uh why they didn't show all of our dates, but they were trying to build a story, build a narrative, and whatever
Hmm.
whatever that is, yeah,
Okay,
whatever that is.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I take it to um, obviously you were in the first group, the first mixer, so
Uh huh.
you're one of the OGs. So you were part of the first WhatsApp group, right? So in that WhatsApp group, we know a lot of shenanigans went down.
Yeah.
Um, how did you feel about what was going on in the WhatsApp group, particularly by LeBron?
I mean, I'm not gonna speak on him per se, but I mean, if you go back and read the chats, like what I clearly said was anybody that's not here for the right reason can go, and that was what I stood on the whole time. So whether or not I agreed with who they said needed to leave, my votes were always based upon who I did not have a connection with.
Right.
And my two connections, I was very clear and open about who my two connections were throughout the course of the show. And anybody else was open to be in my body at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at what point did you know that LeBron had his eyes on Maya, even though you and her already had a connection?
The crazy thing is, I didn't know until he did that weird stuff at the getaway.
Right.
I didn't know because up until that point, he pretended to be my friend.
Mm-hmm.
So
it kind of took you by surprise when he tried to snake you like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, because the thing is, I think by that point, his connection with Koshia had finished, so he was eliminated.
Yeah.
So it looked like he was trying to switch to find somebody else, and he obviously zoned in on Maya because of how visually attractive she is.
Yeah, I mean, I said at our lounges multiple times, like I don't feel no kind of way about anybody else trying to establish a connection with my connections, because at no point we're like, I don't own anybody.
Right.
I don't own nobody, and so we're here for a reason. So whoever you happen to connect with, that's who you connect with. I can't be mad. I can't be mad at nobody for having no connection with Maya. I couldn't be mad at nobody for having no connection with Patrice. Like, that's what we're here for. But to try to, make me look bad so you can look good when the real villain is you is crazy.
Exactly. Right. So I noticed that straight away. I called that out because he was over there manipulating stuff. In fact, he was instigating for Koshia and Mika to be voted off and was encouraging it. But at the same time, he's trying to act like he's got some vendetta against anybody who voted Koshia off.
Mm-hmm.
So he orchestrated that. So I called that out. But I have to give you credit because, like you said, like you didn't stop anybody from getting to know anybody. You didn't play any games or anything. But one of the things I commend you for is actually not going toe to toe with LeBron when he put you on blast, because that to me was very shady. And I know you had ammunition, so why didn't you expose him for being the real villain?
Here's the thing. I am not
confrontational.
No. I can be very confrontational. It's not, but I'm at a point in my life. I'm almost 40.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So is he.
You're emotionally,
he's
you
young.
emotionally are 40, not just chronologically.
He's much younger than me. I think he's like 32, 33. I've been through a lot in my life, like growing up, how I grew up, where I grew up, and then joining the military and seeing some of the things that I've seen and been through some of the things I've been through. My early 20s, my teens, I was a wild child. You know what I'm saying? Like I was always in the mix. I was always putting my hands on somebody. I've been there. I've done all of that. And then I understand the mentality of people that really want smoke and people that don't really want smoke. And when you do all that barking and chirping, like you don't really want to do that. You know what I'm saying? And that commenter is right as well. Like I'm thinking about Maya and I, we were talking about this earlier. Like by the getaway, I had tried to quit probably like 4 or 5 times.
Mm.
And Maya posted something a couple weeks ago about me being like standoffish and being really reserved at the getaway, and it's because I stayed in my room. Like I was trying to leave. I wanted to leave. I wanted to go home. My dad wasn't doing well,
Right.
and Maya came to my room and tried to convince me to stay and be social and come out and hang out with everybody. And I really appreciate her for that. Patrice came to my room and tried to get me to like cheer up and come out and be social and everything like that. And
Okay.
the producers kicked them out of my room.
Right.
and
Oh wow.
and uh and pretty much like told me how selfish I was being for trying to leave and stuff like that. So I was ready to go. I was honestly ready to go, and like everybody's not really worth your energy.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I also understand that like I got kids. I don't want my kids to see me fighting on TV.
Right.
I'm in the army. You know, I got soldiers that I mentor and lead, and I can't have them see me lead like that. My family watches, and then like I still have to travel around the country and tell jokes. And you know, I have an image that I have to still be conscious of. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I I'm not going to throw all that away because somebody lied on me.
Yeah. I hear you.
You know
I
what
hear
I'm
you
saying?
on that. It's very mature, very grown. So, do you think your vulnerability was used against you at times on the show,
No,
like either
I
by the
honestly.
producers or by the ladies in the lounge?
Maybe the production, but not the ladies because um, I still have relationships. Um, my my relationship with the ladies, like I still have a relationship with the ladies, like to this day, and none of them, like they all ask about my dad. They all ask about what's going on in my life, making sure I'm good. So none of them have used any of my personal stuff against me. It,
Right.
it's just how they edited it. When they talked about it in the lounge,
Hmm.
they chopped it up to make it look like, you know, however it looked. But no, like Maya
Okay.
has always been real, like supportive. You know, she checks in, make sure I'm good. Patrice throughout the process was good about it. Um, so it wasn't used against me.
Hmm. Okay.
Would William, I'm almost afraid to ask, but something inside of me is saying it's okay and it's better now. How could you update us a little bit on your dad, or is that a sore topic?
So I came home from deployment in September of 22. November 22, my dad had a stroke. Um, and so throughout 2023, my dad had a tumor removed from his spine. He had another stroke. He had a heart attack. And his cancer that
Wow.
had been in remission came back. And so throughout 2023, he lost 100 pounds and was bed, like confined to a bed and stuff like that. So it was really tough for me. But he just came home from the inpatient facility last week, and he stood up for the first time and he took 15 steps. So he's moving in the right direction.
Amen. Amen. I'm glad to hear that.
Mm.
Something in my spirit was telling me that he was okay, because you and I and JR, we didn't get a chance, and that was a question I meant to ask you in the green room before we went live. So I just thank you for telling us that.
Hmm.
Um, what was your experience like with Patrice, as she was one of your other top connections?
Uh, I mean, I don't know how to answer that, Patrice.
What were
Throughout
your
the
dates?
process,
Okay.
I mean, I never had one solo date with Patrice. Like,
Oh, really?
never had one one-on-one date with Patrice. They always made it like a weird situation where it was like me, Patrice, and two other people. So I never had a one-on-one date with Patrice. But again, that goes into the narrative that they try to create, and just how they try to say things on TV.
Okay, is that a date that you would have welcomed?
Yeah, for sure.
Because like you both have prior children. You both are on the show looking for the same thing. So that to me would have meant that you would have had the opportunity to date one on one at least a couple of times. Crazy. Is she someone that you've remained in contact with after the show as well?
Not as much. Like the three that I'm with now, that's really April, Maya, Patricia, and Mika are who I talk to the most outside of
Okay, cool.
None of the guys, none of the fellas.
Justin, I converse with Justin from time to time.
Okay.
Jonathan, we talk, but and Lamar every once in a while we'll chop it up because he's from Houston, so we'll just joke back and forth real quick. But nothing. I haven't hung out with none of them. Just these ladies here.
Okay. So was there a split in the brotherhood? Like, was there like certain people that aligned with certain people, so they rocked with a certain group and they didn't rock with the others? Like, was it
Nah,
decided, or was there like a solidarity there?
I don't have a problem with none of the other dudes. It's just me and LaRon just don't get along. And so if he gonna be around, I'm not gonna be there because I'm not about to put myself in a position to where I'm gonna go to jail.
I get that. Okay. So it seems like the production kind of used your personal circumstance to create your narrative for the show, and that was the reason why
Absolutely.
they eliminated you at that time.
Absolutely. Because of an NDA, I won't say any more on that topic.
Right.
But there's definitely more to that whole situation.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Well,
All right. Cool.
I guess that brings us to the reunion. What can you tell us about what we see this far, part one of the reunion? Because that thing looks it looks a mess. What are we missing about with Alexis and this argument that she started off having with LaRon, and then it kind of spun out to everybody. It spiraled out to everybody. It spiraled out to Mika, to Justin, and even to her friend Will.
So first things first, I haven't watched the episode. I haven't watched since the episode where the group chat thing became a topic. I think it's right here. It's right here. So that situation came about because first of all, you have to think we showed up. What time did we show up for the reunion? Like 8 a.m. We showed up at 8 a.m. and didn't start filming until like 5 p.m. And they provided a light breakfast, an okay lunch, and then finger foods for dinner.
What?
But they provided a lot of alcohol.
Okay.
There was never ending alcohol. That's one thing that was never missing from any time we shot was liquor.
Right.
And so you have an emotionally charged. First of all, that game was messy as hell.
Yeah.
That game was super messy. Because they even tried to get me and April to like have something against each other when she called me Jeffrey the giraffe.
Can they hear me?
No, they might can hear you.
Hey, I got
Yeah, we can.
But-
You need to come on
We're good.
But so they tried to get me and April to go at it, but me and April was like, we can go out and drink together. Like we don't care about none of this. Like it's little childish stuff. So we wasn't tripping off none of that. But like some of the questions that they were asking were real inflammatory. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
so then you got a situation where you got somebody who like once when you know the whole story and the whole background and everything that had gone on behind the scenes. So
Hmm.
you got one person that was like really, I don't know if I can really cuss on here, but
Go ahead,
like
knock yourself out.
you got one person that was really like shitting on somebody and making it seem like they were the villain, just kind of like what happened to me. When the whole time is this person that's being manipulative and going back and forth and telling everybody everything. Um, and then you got somebody else that's gaslighting, and then you got somebody drunk as hell, like reacting to all those emotions, you know. And
Yeah,
so, and
yeah, mix it all together.
I'm not, I'm not like giving her a pass for her actions or anything like that. But that's why I intentionally chose not to drink because I already knew, like, dude had already called me out my name and talked crazy to me. Like, if I get alcohol in me, it's gonna be a problem.
All
So
right.
I stayed sober and like I just you know tried to move myself away from that situation. 'Cause,
Yeah.
again, like, I got too much good going on in my life to throw it away over somebody who ain't really trying to do none of this. So it's just
Yeah.
like I'm,
It seems like the same formula they use for Jerry Springer. Like
it,
they
it
get the best wicked
it
up,
Oh
and
is,
then when
yeah,
you get on
and
stage, emotionally charged, and he's
and
gonna lose
so
the confrontation. You're gonna say it's
And
false.
so everybody here, they can attest. Like after that incident happened, like they stopped filming, they shut down filming, and like all production came out and they sat us down and told us how embarrassing it was and how this is supposed to be a positive show for Black people and it's supposed to be showing successful Black people showing love, like trying to find love and all this other kind of stuff. And we're like, y'all create this. Y'all are the ones that create this. Like they try to say how this isn't love and hip hop or Real Housewives, but y'all create like all this turmoil. Like this
right.
is something y'all. It could be very easy to just have a show showing like 20 successful Black people dating,
Right.
but where's the ratings in that? Because
Hmm.
as much as everybody says they hate seeing the drama and they hate seeing Black people do this, they wouldn't watch it without the mess.
Yeah.
And I mean, I hate that
Hmm.
uh, because I don't even watch reality TV. So
Hmm.
if I could go back and not do the show, I would listen. I would swallow a jean jacket wrapped in barbed wire before I do this. Like
Right.
I'm
So
cool.
can I ask you a
Okay.
specific question? Not to
Yes,
throw
man.
uncle, cousin, nephew Tommy under the bus, because I love our nephew Tommy, but I was
I
telling
love Tommy.
Jr. You're right. I was telling JR before we came into when we came into the green room and before you came in, I really felt after watching that ending of part one. So basically what we see on part one, because you said you haven't seen it, we see Alexis being carried off the stage, right? By Will.
Hmm.
But before that, Alonzo was pulling on her, which I thought that was very inappropriate. But to get back to nephew Tommy, I was telling JR that I felt like nephew Tommy really didn't do a good job of de-escalating things. Like there's certain strategies and certain things that you can do to de-escalate before it gets to a physical brawl,
So
right?
that. I think that's the misunderstanding that a lot of people have. Okay, man. That's the
Okay.
misunderstanding that a lot of people have about the show. Tommy is not there to moderate. Tommy is not there to mediate. Tommy is not there to break up
Hmm.
fights and stuff like that. He's there to film his talking parts and then go on about his business. You know what I'm saying? Like production handles all that in between stuff.
Okay. Okay. I get
Production,
that.
production.
I don't want him
So
physically to do anything, but
yeah.
you don't think that that part of his job as a moderator, like I moderate panels, and sometimes we got to the
Yeah.
point where we're ready to verbally go at each other, but I
Hmm.
managed to calm things down. I'm just saying that I don't. I know his job is not security, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me and my idealism, but I feel like there were things that he could have done to just verbally calm, perhaps, and maybe not, but perhaps to have calmed Alexis down. And
That's
then
what you was.
as far as security,
Mhm.
security didn't even do anything. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They showed us. They clipped like different parts into that one scene. Like that's not how it flowed at all. Like they could,
Oh,
yeah, they that's not how it flowed at all. Because if you notice, Maya was right next to Alexis during part of it, and then they went away, and then they came back. Maya was gone, and then like they clipped it, and then Justin was talking to her, and then they clipped it, and then I disappeared. Like if you actually go back and watch how it flows, that's not how it happened.
Okay.
And then also like, yeah, I you have this idea of how everything's gonna go and how everything's gonna work. But I'm gonna tell you like how the producers told us when we was like, this is not what y'all told us the show was gonna be. When is anything ever what you're told it's gonna be?
Mm.
right.
Like we were like, this is not the show y'all told us it was gonna be. This is not how y'all said the show was gonna go. And one of the producers said, this is verbatim what he said. When is anything in life ever what you're told it's gonna be?
Wow.
And
Big.
at that point, I think you had 5 cast members being ready to quit.
Oh
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, and
Mm.
that was at the pajama party.
Okay.
Hmm.
Hmm. So, with regards to nephew Tommy, like, do you think he, and based on your experience of being on the show and interacting with him as much as you had to, do you think he's still the right person to host the show, or do you feel like uh, it's something that needs a refresh? That the whole concept of the show needs to be revamped, including the host.
First of all, Tommy's my OG. Don't Tommy. I'm not gonna take any money out of Tommy's pockets. So I think Tommy it does his job on the show. I
Yeah,
think
what
I
he's supposed
think
to do.
I think production creates something that needs to be changed. I think the format of the show that needs to be changed because, like for example, and I'm not saying anything would have happened between me and Patricia, but like I never got a chance to meet her before the reunion. You know what I'm saying? And so who's to say like something could have happened from that? Or like why can't you just film the 10 men and 10 women dating throughout the 8 weeks, 12 weeks, however long the show is, and
Hmm.
then film the show based off of that, and then watch the relationship form from that instead of turning it into like Survivor or the Hunger Games. You know what I'm saying? So they create this. It's not anything that Tommy's doing wrong. It's just the format of the show probably needs to be reworked.
Revamped. Yeah. We've been
Okay.
saying we've been saying that for a while, haven't we, JR?
Yeah,
The
we
show
have.
needs to be revamped. I'm thinking also, you know what I've been thinking and I've been hearing a lot of people are saying that they'd like to see the age bracket moved up a bit from like maybe 40 to 50, 55 even, that's something that's been talked about.
But that's assuming that people at that higher age bracket are more mature, because that's not necessarily the case.
That's
Yeah.
my argument for not doing it. Exactly. You're gonna be
Well,
even more disappointed when you see older people doing the same
oh my
shenanigans.
God, you're right. And I would be plumb embarrassed, but I will say this. I think one of the things that it possibly could eliminate, let's think about this, guys. Not for sure, not 100%, because nothing is ever 100%. But if we move the age bracket up to that level, we maybe don't have the disparity between men who want to have children and don't have children versus the men and the women have both already had their families and maybe been married once before, and now we can move on past that point. Because one of the things that we saw, William, was a lot of the men that were there this season didn't have children, or had maybe, like Jonathan had one child and still wanted to remarry and have more children. What are your thoughts about that? Did you want to have more children?
I think that I don't think anything is definite. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, you could say what you will not. Never say what you won't do. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's true.
Never say what you won't do, because I could say I could say anything today, but life could happen. I could say I don't want no more kids because I have three, and then I can meet somebody that turns my whole life around next week and change my mind.
Right.
So it really right here. So never I don't think that needs to be changed at all either, because if you meet the right person, then you very well could change your mind. You know, like you um for well, I'm not gonna speak for anybody else, but like for me,
Okay.
I have three sons.
Okay.
My youngest is turning 8 this year.
Okay. And the oldest?
I'm My oldest is 12.
12. Okay.
I'm very comfortable with where I am in life and with my kids. Um, do I want more kids?
Please no.
What? Who is that saying please no? April. April, let's have man repopulate the earth. April, listen here now. Listen
Listen,
here.
I'm
no.
sorry.
Do it,
And if I
but what I'm saying is, like, let's just say hypothetically, you and I hit it off and we start dating or whatever, and then we decide we want to get married, and then you're just like, well, I don't have any kids of my own. I want to be a mom.
But I think you have to look
Right.
at the
Like,
perspective of who you're with. So for me, I do want kids.
That makes sense what you're saying, William, because I think if a person doesn't have any children, it's very unfair for the person that already has children to tell them, well, no, I'm never going to have children with you. That's kind of crazy to me.
yeah.
So like it will be hard for me to have children.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying, just in general, like I don't feel like saying, like, I don't believe in saying never. You know what I'm saying? Because at one point I said I was never joining the military, and 16 years later, here my black ass is. You know what I'm saying?
And enjoy that pension.
So,
I heard it ain't that bad. One of the deacons at my
so,
church gets that pension every month.
so
So I ain't mad at you, Will.
I don't believe in necessarily saying never.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I have a question, and this is more about the reunion as well. Like,
Hmm.
arriving at the reunion after the gap between when the show stopped filming and getting to the reunion,
Hmm.
was everything all harmonious, or were there people looking like they had scores to settle when they were going to come out on stage and put people on blast?
Nah, pretty much throughout the entire course of filming, it was drama. Throughout, y'all got all the sauces. Throughout, throughout the course of filming, there was drama the entire time. And so by the time we got to the reunion, like, there were people that already just wasn't rocking with other people. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then there were people like Patricia, who didn't know none of the background drama, like, for real. And so she was blindsided by all of it. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, you got people that told their lie and they're living with it, and they just gonna run with it for the rest of their life.
Mm.
And then you got people that just trying to stay out the way. Um, but
Okay.
a conversation we were having earlier is, like, if we could have filmed the reunion like now,
Right.
as opposed to when we filmed it in October,
Right.
oh, it would have been way different.
Better or worse?
Probably both.
Different in what way? We gotta get some specifics, okay, William?
Uh,
Better
a
or
lot,
worse in what way? Come on,
a
drop
lot more, a
drop
lot
a
more.
little bit of tea, William. Drop a little bit of tea, okay?
Nah, listen. If it's not my story to tell, I ain't gonna tell it. But a lot more stuff has come to light. You know what I'm saying? And so if you hear it from other people that are involved in that, then so be it. But William, it has never been the type to go and tell other people's business.
No, I
He's not a
I want my
character.
money back,
Nah,
William. I want my money back.
nah. Even on
No, that's
stage,
fair
like
enough.
even on stage, I just talk about myself. I don't talk about
Yeah,
nobody else. I talk about myself. Like I
to
don't
be
Okay.
honest,
believe in talking about other people because I've seen bad things happen to other. First of all, you live a lot longer when you mind your own business.
I know that's right. Uh-oh.
That's a fact I learned growing up. You live a lot longer when you mind your own business. And so I
Yeah.
mind the business that pays me and I stay out the way.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
the
Mind
best
the
way.
business that pays you. And hey, look, and stay
Hmm.
hydrated. Stay
And
hydrated.
stay hydrated. Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the best way to be, bro.
Well, William, I know you got to eat your meal, but could you
Yeah,
wrap us up by telling
my
us
food is right here.
uh tell us real quick, and we're gonna let you go.
Hmm.
Tell us where you're gonna be performing at and when, if that's okay with you. Your comedy. Uh,
Yeah,
let us
so I'll be at the Station Comedy Club in San Antonio. What's this month? April 19th.
okay.
uh, I have a show I'm working on booking right now at the Riot in Houston.
Oh,
Date
okay.
pending. And
Okay.
then I can't remember the name of the comedy club in Pensacola, but I'm that's pending
Pensacola,
right now too.
Florida.
Yes, ma'am,
Pensacola.
Pensacola,
Okay.
Florida. So
Okay.
those are my next three shows that I have lined up. I usually don't really like put a lot about my shows up unless I'm headlining. And
Okay.
I work with other comedians that are bigger names that actually put asses in seats.
Are you
I
familiar with my good friend Mike Bonner from Detroit? Comedian.
we're friends on Facebook, and I think we follow each
Okay.
other on Instagram.
On
But I
Instagram.
know
Okay.
he used to live in San Antonio, so I know a lot of people that know him.
Oh, okay. I gotta talk to him about that.
Yeah,
Okay, got you, got you. When
but
are you coming? Speaking of D, when are you coming to the other big D, Detroit?
listen, as soon as somebody puts some money up, I'll pull up.
Okay,
Some
okay.
soon as somebody book me, I'll pull up.
I think Mike has got
Yeah.
a Mike Bonner. I think he has a comedy club here, so I'm gonna speak to him about bringing you to
Okay.
Detroit because I would love to see you. Honestly, I'm
Yeah.
all jokes aside.
Yeah. Listen. Anywhere they paying me to be, I'll be there.
Okay, all right. Well, with that said, we're gonna go ahead and let you drop out. Anything else? I'm sorry,
All
JR.
right.
Is there anything else you want to ask him, or just final thoughts for him?
Um, no, I mean, listen, man, it was a pleasure having you on and getting your perspective and your take, bro. So much appreciated for that. And
Yeah, for
I'll
sure.
Yes,
be
thank
looking out
you
for your
so much.
Netflix special.
Listen, I'm looking out for it too.
Well,
All right, I appreciate y'all.
All right,
in the
bro.
meantime, in tween time, William, you're welcome to come back anytime you'd like to talk to us more about your comedy.
All
Doesn't have to be
right.
about Ready to Love. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, sir. Thank
Y'all want to
you.
say bye?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ciao.
Hey, April.
Love y'all. Have a good night. Be safe.
Good
All
night.
right. Hey,
Bye.
Patricia. Maya.
Bye.
All right.
All
Thank you.
right. Y'all be
Thank you
blessed.
so much. You be
And you
Yeah.
blessed
too,
too.
bro.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Bye
Good
now.
night.
Sweet.
Good night.
Well, well. Mm-mm-mm. Any initial thoughts on that, sir? Now that we got
Well,
our
I
first
think,
interview together under our wings, woohoo!
yeah,
We got
listen,
some other ones coming too.
listen, great interview. Seems like a great guy, right? And I think
Yes.
we covered quite a few of um the really important points to uncover some of the backstage production stuff that goes on, and as well as some of the tension that may have been with the castmates and things. So he was he was very informative, very
Hmm.
honest and genuine. Seems
Very.
like a really cool dude. And like he says, he minds the business that pays him. So he wasn't messy at all. Didn't cause any chaos amongst the group. So yeah, seemed like a really cool dude, man. How did you feel? What did you
I
think?
en- I enjoyed him. I thought from our conversations offline, I thought that he would be exactly who he turned out to be. I kind of knew that we were going to struggle to get some tea, which I was really hoping to get a little bit more tea from him, but that's okay. I do get that for him, like with me, it's an integrity point that when you know certain things or whatever you're observing, you don't have to necessarily speak them on your interview because you allow those people to come on. And with that being said, we do have at least two other cast members that will be coming on once part two of the reunion is over. So
Mhm.
definitely, if you guys haven't, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you go over and subscribe to JRXTV. Make sure that you turn your notifications on because a lot of times the dates that I get from the castmates when they're available is right at the last minute, like a day before, the same day. We've been talking behind the scenes, but guys, you got to have your notifications turned on so that you catch every notification and you know when we're getting ready to go live because we're going to be back with some more people from this cast to
Mhm.
find out what's really going on. Okay.
Mhm. And don't forget, we have our Sunday recaps of tomorrow. We're going to do a recap of the whole episode,
That's right.
the first reunion, and we're going to go into more detail on all the different scenarios, all the different confrontations that we saw, and yeah, when we chop it up, we try and piece together some of these puzzles as to why we saw what we saw. So tune in tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, tune in tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. guys. We're gonna chop up the episode this week, break it down and build it back up. And we got a lot I got a lot of questions. I really have a lot of questions. I was very disturbed, and I'm just gonna tell you right now personally as a woman, I was very disturbed both by her behavior, speaking on Alexis now, by her
Mhm.
behavior, but also by how she was treated and how she was being pulled on and all the men kind of hoovering over her as opposed to some other strategies and tactics that I think could have been utilized. I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm sure you'll tell us tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 11:30 in the UK, right?
Yeah, 11:30 p.m. in the UK. And I also will say it was interesting to see that none of the ladies jumped in to defend her either, and not for the first time. So
Right.
she's obviously alienated the ladies, like we said way back earlier in the season, because they
Mhm.
perceive her as being the mole or the snake in the group. So
Mhm.
they weren't feeling her at all. Not one lady got up to defend her when she was going off,
Nope,
because she
not
was actually
one.
going off on everybody, male or female. Anybody can get it,
Right,
you know.
right. But wait a minute. Here's the thing that's funny, JR. If you stop and think about it, remember back in the ladies' lounge earlier this season, she was telling Koisha that men don't mistreat her. That they know who to do that stuff to. That she was above any type of and she's the same woman that had to be rescued from
Jonathan.
Jonathan's
Mhm.
lap on at the
And
pajama party, right?
guess you rescued her from Jonathan though.
Alonzo and
Uh-huh.
LaRon,
Right.
yes.
Yep.
Someone
Alonzo.
else pointed that out earlier in the chat because I had
Mhm.
forgotten, actually, to be honest, that it was Alonzo and LaRon. I remember LaRon, but I didn't remember Alonzo at that point.
Right.
But now speaking on
Right.
Alonzo, he got a lot of explaining to do, doesn't he?
Well, listen, I called out some stuff last episode last week, and I got some hate for it, talking about how negative I was. But I did say, Patrice picked Alonso, but judging by what we saw in the previews, it looks like Alonso was a bad choice. I did say that, and I got heat, but now you kind of seeing. And anyway, we're gonna chop it up in more detail tomorrow, but now you see why I had my reservations.
I do
I
see,
wasn't
and
hating on Patrice, and I wasn't hating on him, but I was just
uh-huh.
going by what I saw,
Okay.
and it just looked like, man. All I'm saying is 3 days. 3 days. That's how long that those butterflies and that connection lasted.
Yeah, they didn't last long. Cal, we're doing just that. He should be here on the stage, front and center. There's someone else that's had a very big part, made it to the end this season. Liked 11 out of the 10 ladies had a connection with them. So you know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to throw no names out there, but he'll be back with JR and myself. And social LaRon. LaRon is talking about he's coming over here too. But like I said, you gotta subscribe if you want to chat, because this is subscriber only chats over here. And you've also got to set those notifications so you're aware of when we're going to go live with these people. So we're going to be bringing you some more castmates from this season, and we want you guys to be in the room when we talk to them, because you guys will probably have some questions that JR and I might not have thought about, right? Like tonight, a
Very
lot of you had some questions and reminded me of some things. I was like, oh, okay, we need to get that up on the screen. We need to ask that question of William. And guys,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I will apologize to you, but it is what it is. So he had set up the date. We had set up the date, and then I was talking to another former castmate. They said, okay, we're going out. We're going out to eat. Nobody knew that it was going to extend over into the time where we had set the interview. So these things happen. Um, I'm sorry that there's a problem with the audio. There's a little bit of problem with the, what would you call it, like JR, the background noise.
Yeah, basically, he was in a busy venue, a restaurant, and he had um, four ladies at the table who were having their own private conversations as well, and he was present. So we picked up like a lot of background noise and stuff,
Right,
um,
right.
And other than excuse himself from the venue and from what he was doing, there's nothing that I don't think he could do at the time, right? So
No, there really wasn't. It
yeah,
there really wasn't anything. He did pick up, however, uh to hit mute while we were speaking so that you guys could at least hear the questions that we were going to ask him. So
yeah,
I'm gonna see. I think I have to look over on my StreamYard. I think there may be a way when I post this up. And be sure, guys, be sure and come back and like the video. Well, like the video now. Be sure and also come back. Drop your questions, your comments, your thoughts about this interview. Let's engage. Let's engage as we build this community up. Okay. And I'm trying to talk Jr. here into looking at that. Never have Mets, the new show that's going to be replacing Ready to Love on OWN. He's giving me a hard time, guys, but we gotta encourage him. We gotta encourage him and Sean A. Stokes. I see you, Sean, out there in the chat.
yeah.
Uh,
Shout out to Sean. Shout out to Sean.
yeah, yeah,
Listen,
yeah. We gotta get Sean. We gotta get Sean back here. We got to get Sean back here too, because we got to do this show. I mean,
yeah,
I'm curious. Like, people have or online talking on the telephone for like 6 months, 9 months. I think one couple has even been like over a decade before they actually physically meet. What do you guys think about that premise? Is that something that is it catfish? What's really going on here? What is really going on? Oh, wait a minute. I like this comment. Let's see if I can get this up on the screen. Ah, thank you, Kyle. Thank
oh,
you.
well,
And
much
my car.
appreciated. Thank you,
I love that. Thank you, dear. Appreciate that so much.
thank you. Shout
What
out to Kyle.
Shout out to Kyle. And look at Sean being messy as usual in the chat. I am not going to be in a relationship with somebody for 10 years and never. Why not? Why not? If it's working long distance, so sometimes you don't have as many fights if it's long distance, right?
No, that's not
All the
true.
times, good time.
That's
It's
not
not.
true.
You
'Cause-
better hush before you get in trouble, okay?
Exactly. Listen,
With
if
that,
all you do is talk, then
hmm
sometimes you run out of stuff to talk about, and
okay.
sometimes it actually uh, brings about more arguments because there is no physical interactions between you. It's only verbal. So you don't notice nuances, you don't notice facial
Mm.
expressions and other things.
Oh,
So, and
okay.
and and you know you still, no matter male or female, no matter what age you are,
Okay.
you eventually want that human touch, that connection with the person that you've got
Oh,
your speaking.
absolutely.
So
Especially, I think the younger you are, especially. I mean, like, and how are you going to make babies? Like, if somebody was going together for 11 years, they could have gotten married, they could have dated, they could have gotten married and started a whole family and created a whole life together in 11 years. That's a long time.
yeah, that's crazy.
That's a long time. But with that being said, guys, we'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the States. And what time is it there in the UK?
Tomorrow, it's going to be 11:30 p.m. UK.
UK. Okay, great, guys. We'll see you, Sean. You know what? You better hurry up and get back here for part two of this reunion because I know you got some plans for tomorrow, but you better hurry up and get back. We'll see you guys tomorrow. All right.
Hmm.
Bye now. Peace out.
Peace out.